Good morning, students. Today we will continue with the lesson number 8, Economy and Occupation. As we have learned what is economy and the different types of occupation carried out in India and Brazil. We will just recall what we have learned in the previous lecture. In the previous lecture, we have learned about the industries in Brazil. So we have also learned that there is iron industry, steel production, automobile assembly, petroleum processing, chemical production, and cement making technology based industries have been most dynamic in recent years in Brazil. But traditional industries are also used in Brazil now. The production is also done by the traditional industries also. The main industries are iron and steel production, automobile assembly, petroleum processing, chemical production, and cement making. Technological based industries have also moved dynamic in recent years in Brazil. And traditional industries that are also doing production in Brazil. We have also learned that there are food processing industries like sugar industries, cotton, textile, silk and woolen industries developed in Brazil. So most of the large industries are concentrated in the south and southeast in Brazil. Most of the industries, where are it is situated in? South and southeast. The northeast is traditionally the poorest part of Brazil, but it is the beginning to attract new investment. In the northeast side of Brazil, it is the poorest part of Brazil because there may be some inaccessibility. Due to this, it is the beginning to attract the new investment. New investment is being going on in that particular region. So this is we have studied about the industries in Brazil. Now today we will start with industries in India. As we have seen and studied about the industries in Brazil, there are different types of minerals found in Brazil and different industries. Now we will start with the industries in India. So here on this screen, you will see there are various logos of different types of industries. Logo is used for industries for the purity of the product, for the goods they produce, for the brand, for the quality of the goods to maintain. So logos are used as per various industries in India. Logos are the standardized mark given to the production of the goods or the industries. So it is very necessary for an industry to have logos. So here on the screen, there are various logos. In the textbook also you can see if you have various logos are given. First is of ONGC. ONGC means Oil and Natural Gas Corporation. ONGC means Oil and Natural Gas Corporation. And the raw material used is crude oil. Raw material used in this is crude oil. The next is RINL. Rashtriya Ispat Nigam Limited. Rashtriya Ispat Nigam Limited. And the raw material used here is iron ore and cooking coal. Raw material used for this is iron ore and cooking coal. RA. On this logo, it is written RA. It is a milk colony neighborhood in Goregaon. RA is a name. It is a name of colony in neighborhood in Goregaon. And the raw material used is milk. Raw material used is milk. CLW. Chitranjan Locomotive Work. CLW means Chitranjan Locomotive Work. It is related to Central Railway. So it is related to Central Railway. Raw material, what should be the raw material in this now? Iron, coal. So these are the raw material used. Next is the Maharashtra Agro Industries Development Corporation. The Maharashtra Agro Industries Development Corporation, and the It is related to agro industries, means related to agriculture. All the raw material which is used by the industries from the get from the agriculture process. For example, raw materials such as food grain. Raw materials such as food grain. KVIC, Khadi or Gram Udyog Ayog. KVIC means Khadi or Gram Udyog Ayog. So what is the raw material used here? It is cotton. Cotton is used because these industries belong to Khadi, and Khadi means related to clothes. For clothes, we need thread, and thread is prepared by cotton. So the raw material used for this industry is cotton. Next is Central Silk Board India. Central Silk Board India. It is related to silk, and silk we get from the silkworm. Silk we get from the silkworm. So raw material used is silkworm. RCF. The last is RCF. Rashtriya Chemical and Fertilizer Limited. Rashtriya Chemical and Fertilizer Limited. This shows that there is a use of chemical and fertilizer or the production of chemical and fertilizer. So what we need here? Oil, natural gas and minerals. The raw material used in these industries are oil, natural gas, minerals. So these are the various logos related to various industries, and the logos are used by these industries for the purity, for the brand, for the standardization of the goods and the production of the goods. Industries in India. There are various industries in India. Variety of industries are found in India. Various minerals are found in India. So there is distribution of industries in India is highly uneven. There are majority of industries and it is highly uneven in India. Why this is uneven? Because uneven distribution is because of necessary raw material available. There is a large quantity of necessary raw material available. Power resources is also sufficient. Concentration of enterprises, financial resources, and other necessary conditions in large towns. Large towns means there will be various new technology, new methods of development of goods and production. New machineries are used, developed machinery, new technology machineries are used. So because of this reason, necessary raw material, power resources, concentration of enterprises, financial resources, all these necessary conditions are found in large towns also. So this is the reason for the distribution of industries in India. So there are large number of industries in India because there is very good condition, favorable climate, so the favorable environment for the raw material to grow, and the raw material production is on a large scale. So there is a increase in industries in India. Various minerals are found in India in different states. There are mostly the reserves of metallic minerals in Jharkhand, Orissa, Chhattisgarh, Madhya Pradesh, part of Rajasthan, Karnataka, and Tamil Nadu. In India, most of the reserves of metallic minerals, where it is found in Jharkhand, Orissa, Chhattisgarh, Madhya Pradesh, parts of Rajasthan, Karnataka, and Tamil Nadu. Northeastern part of peninsula has a high concentration of heavy metallurgical industry. In northeastern part of India, peninsula, there is a heavy metallurgical industries with almost all steel industries situated there. In northeastern part, various metallurgical industries and steel industries are situated because the raw material needed for this is found in that region on a large scale. also these industries situated in that particular area in northeastern part of peninsula. There is also availability of large quantities of coal and refractory materials along with the cheap power from the Damodar Valley Corporation, and the number of thermal power projects have added to the advantage. For the thermal power station, there is more need of electricity. So in this area, this region, there is large supply of electricity. So these industries have developed in that region. Availability of large quantities of coal is also is there, along with cheap power of Damodar Valley Corporation, and the number of thermal power projects have also developed in this due to this advantage. In Rajasthan, in India, we get copper, lead, and zinc. In Rajasthan, in India, we get copper, lead, and zinc. These are the main minerals we found in Rajasthan. In Karnataka, India gets steel, manganese, and aluminum. Which minerals in Karnataka? Steel, manganese, aluminum. Tamil Nadu has aluminum and metal industry. Tamil Nadu has which industry? Aluminum, metal industry. Rajasthan has copper, lead, and zinc. Karnataka has steel, manganese, and aluminum, and Tamil Nadu has aluminum, metal industry. So there are varieties of industries in India, in particular region, in particular state, just like Jharkhand, Orissa, adjoining Chhattisgarh, Madhya Pradesh, parts of Rajasthan, Karnataka, and Tamil Nadu. These are the reserves of metallic minerals. Northeastern part of peninsula have a heavy metallurgical industries and steel center situated also. There is large quantity of coal, refractories, cheap power from the Damodar Valley, and number of thermal power projects have been developed due to this advantage. So these are metallurgical industries in India. In India, there is also agro-based industries is also there, cement industry is also there, and oil refineries industries is also in India. India is also famous for agro-based also, cement also, and oil refineries industries also. Agro-based industries including cotton. In agro-based industry, there is including which industries? Cotton industry, jute industry, sugar industry are heavily concentrated in the raw material producing area. The area or the region or the particular state where this production is, this raw material production, just as cotton, jute, and sugar is more, in that region, these agro-based industries are developed heavily. There is also forest-based industries such as paper, plywood, matches, resins, and lac are in forest areas of various states. In India, forest industries is also there, and these raw materials like paper, plywood, matches, tin, resin, lac, we get from the forest. So it is also, these industries are also in India. The coastal belt of Kerala has a heavy concentration of coir, copra, and fish canning industry. In the coastal belt of Kerala, in Kerala there is also heavy concentration, means the more industries of coir, copra, and fish canning industries in Kerala. So we can see that there is agro-based industries in India such as cotton, jute, and sugar concentrated in India in the particular area where raw material of this industry is producing on a large quantity. In India, there is forest-based industries also. There is paper, plywood, matches, resins, and lac. Coastal belt of Kerala has a heavy concentration of coir, copra, and fish canning industry. Now on this slide, we can see the oil in Digboy in Assam around the Brahmaputra basin. Oil industries are also in India on a large scale. Oil well near Mumbai coast also and in Maika also. So Koyali, Digboy, Nunmati, Bongai Gaon refineries are situated close to the petroleum producing area. So the areas where there is a large quantity of petroleum producing area, in that place, these oil refineries or these oil industries are developed, such as Koyali, Digboy, Nunmati and Bongai Gaon refineries. Mathura and Barauni in refineries in the interior away from the coast of oil producing area. Mathura and Barauni refineries are in the interior. They are away from the coast of oil producing area. Mathura and Burani refineries are away from the coast of oil producing areas where the oil production is done. They are away from this part. They are away from that region. The distribution of cement industry is also highly conditioned by the availability of raw material. Cement industries are also developed in India due to the availability of good raw material for cement industry. So cement industries are also developed in India. Gujarat, Rajasthan and Tamil Nadu produce the bulk of salt in the country. Bulk of salt industry is also there in India. In Gujarat, Rajasthan, Tamil Nadu. It is mostly in Gujarat, Rajasthan and Tamil Nadu produce the bulk of salt in the country. There are also different type of industries like mechanical engineering, electrical, automobile, fertilizer, and the numerous consumer industries, which show little bias for raw material, have come up all over the country with heavier concentration in the big cities. Various different types of industries are developed in India in the particular region where they find large scale of raw material or where there is a producing area which provides raw material to the industries. But there are also industries developed such as mechanical engineering, electrical, automobile, fertilizer, numerous consumer industries in big cities. As the demands are growing and increasing, so in big cities also there is a large number of industries growing on, developing in India. So from this we can learn there are different types of industries in India related to every industries, such as there is metallurgical industries also, because various types of minerals are found in India. There are agro-based industries also, forest-based industries also, cement industries also. There are oil refineries industries also in India. The oil refineries industries such as oil in Digboy in Assam around the Brahmaputra basin, oil well near Mumbai coast also, and the mine. So we have learned about the industries in India. There is various type of technology, new machineries are used in India. Lack of knowledge related to minerals is there in India. So due to development of industries, there is an import and export of trade. there is export of goods and import of goods in both the countries, in India also and in Brazil also. So now we will study about the import and export and the balance of trade of India and Brazil. So on this slide, we can see there is a chart given, a table is given. In that table, the information is given of import, export, and balance of trade. And that balance of trade value is given in US dollar. It is given in US dollar. Year is given 2009, 2010, 2010, 2011, 2011 to 2012, 2012 to 2013. And export, there is some number given. Import also a number is given of both the countries, India and Brazil. So as per this table, we can compare the import and export of India, the import and export of Brazil, and the trade between these two countries. In 2009 and 10 in India, we can see export is 1,78,751.4 and the import is 2,88,372.9. The export of the goods is less in India and the import is more. For the favorable trade, there should be more export and less import. If a country shows that there is a large quantity or large amount of import of goods are there from the other countries, this shows that the country is dependent on other countries. So this table shows us if the country's export is more, then that country is not dependent. And import is less means it is dependent on other countries. For the favorable trade, every country, any country, there should be export more. In 2010 and 11 in India, there is 2,51,136 export and import is 3,69,770. So from this, it is known that import is also more and export is less. In 2011-12, there also the same condition. The export is less than the import is more. The export is 3,04,623.53 and the import is 4,89,181.3. In 2012-13, it is 2,14,099.8 and import is 3,61,271.9. So while comparing import and export of India, we can see their export of India is less and the import is more, because means this shows that India imports various or the large quantity of goods or the materials or the commodities from other countries more than the export. Export is less in India. In Brazil, we can see export and import. In 2009-10, export is 1,52,994.7 and import was 1,27,647.3. This shows that the import was less and the export was more. Export is more means the Brazil exports its commodities, its goods in large quantity to other countries, but import of goods from the other country is less. In 2010 and 11, there is the export of 1,97,356.4 and the import is 1,80,458.8. So here also we can see export is more than import. Means Brazil is not dependent on other country for the import. In 2011-12, there is export of 2,56,038.7 and import was 2,26,243.4. From this also, export figure is more and import is less. In 2012-13, we can see in Brazil, export is 2,42,579.8 and import is 2,23,149.1. Again, here the same, we can see that export is more and import is less. So from this, we can conclude that Brazil exports more than the import. Means Brazil is dependent country. Brazil is not dependent country, sorry, on other countries. So here some of the questions I've given. Read the table and answer the following question. Now we have read the table. We have seen that in India there is export is less and import is more, and in Brazil we can see that export is more and import is less. What is balance of trade? Balance of trade means what? The difference in the value between the countries import and export. We have seen the difference in the countries, both the countries, India and Brazil. In India, export is less. In Brazil, export is more. In India, import is more. And in Brazil, import is less. So this is called the balance of trade. Second question they have asked, tell the types of balance of trade. There are types of balancing the trade. Favorable balance of trade, unfavorable balance of trade, equilibrium balance of trade. In favorable balance means the export should be more, because if the export is more, the country have more benefits, more profit, and its economy is also increased. So for favorable balance of trade, there should be export more from the country. Unfavorable balance of trade means import is more than export. Import is more means the import of the goods, the commodities, or the products are more from the other countries. Means the country which is importing the goods is dependent on the other country. So this is called the unfavorable balance of the trade. And the third is equilibrium balance of trade. Equilibrium balance of trade means there is equal in the trade. Not much difference between the import and export of the goods or the import and export of trade. The profit, the economy, or the import and export of the goods are nearby same or equal, or there must not be too much difference. So it goes in the equilibrium balance of trade. So these are the types of trade: favorable, unfavorable, and equilibrium. So from this, we can decide India which type of balance of trade and Brazil also which type of balance of trade. Third question they have asked, in which country export exceeds import in all the years? They have asked that which country export is more than import in every year. So we have read the table. So from that we come to note in Brazil, the export in every year is more. Import is less. So the answer is Brazil. Brazil is the country which export exceeds import in all the year. In every year in the table they have given in export is more. Fourth question they have asked, Brazil balance of trade belong to which type? Now we have learned about the balance of trade, three types of balance of trade. So by this reading of the chart, we can come to know that Brazil belongs to favorable balance of trade. Brazil belongs to favorable balance of trade because export is more, import is less. Export is more. This results in the development in the economy also, in the trade also, in the profit they get from the trading also. And it shows the status of the Brazil, that Brazil is not dependent more on the other countries for the goods. Fifth question they have asked, India's balance of trade belong to which type? India's balance of trade belong to which type? So India's balance of trade is unfavorable. Why it is so? Because India's export is more, export is less, and the import is more. This is because India export less and India import more. This shows that India depends on other countries for import of goods for India. So we can see in the table there is a too much difference between the import and export figure given in every year. And in every year we can see that export is more and import is less. Export is less and the import is more. So this is the answers to all the questions we have seen from the table. From that we have learned that the India and Brazil balance of trade, what is the status of their import and export of the goods. And the value in this table is given in US dollars. So balance of trade means the difference in the value between the countries, import and export. There are three types of balance of trade: favorable, unfavorable, equilibrium, balance of trade. Brazil has the country export exceed import in all the years. In every year we have seen Brazil export more, import less. So Brazil balance of trade is favorable and India's balance of trade is unfavorable because India export less and import more. So for every country there should be exportation of the goods should be more so that there should be increase in the trade, in the economy and the profit which they get. Now next we will move to the graph. So on the screen we can see the graph is given. It is a trade of Brazil and India. And the contribution of trade in GDP is given. Contribution of trade in GDP is given. Every year is given. Year is 1960, 1970, 1980, 1990, 2000, 2010, 2016. Means the gap in this year is of 10 years. In every year, in the graph, the gap is given of 10 years. The last, only the last 2010 and 16 it is of 6 years. Percentage of growth is also given 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. The blue color shows the trade of Brazil and the pink color shows the trade in India. And it is all given in the contribution of trade in GDP. So we can see from this graph, in 1960, India's trade is less and the Brazil is more. In 1960, we can see India's trade is less and then Brazil is more. In 1970 also, there was the same condition. The trade of India is less than Brazil. You can see that the blue line is going on increasing from 1960, 1970. Near about in 1980 also, there was the same condition, but both of the countries were a little bit near to each other. Both the lines we can see in 1980, they are coming closer to each other. Means Brazil line is coming down and India is going little bit upward. This shows the growth of the GDP, contribution of trade in GDP of the trade, the growth of trade in India and Brazil. While you can see in 1990, we can see that the blue line is down and the pink line which shows India is going upward, means it's increasing. That the pink line is going upwards means it is increasing. This shows that the India's percentage of GDP, contribution of trade in GDP is increasing than Brazil. First, we have seen from 1960, Brazil is more and India is less. But from 1990, we can see that India is increasing and Brazil is decreasing. In 2000 also, we can see there is a rapid growth of India. India's trade is increasing and the Brazil is low. In 2010 also we can see the same condition. Brazil is, blue line indicates is down and the pink line which shows the India trade is up. In 2016 also the same condition, but the difference is from 2010 that India's contribution of trade in GDP came down near about 40%. It is came down, we can see it is on the line 40%. Means near about in 2010 it is increased up to 50% and in 2016 it is came to 40%. From 2000 to 2010 we can see there was increase of the trade of India. Mostly in maybe in nearby 2005 it is 50% and after that it is coming down in 2016 it is 40%. So this is the condition of Brazil and India which we have learned in this graph, contribution of trade in GDP. In Brazil, trade and India trade. So as per the every year we have seen that India, the pink line indicates the India. From 1960 it was low, but slowly it gets increased and the Brazil which is starting in 1960 it shows that Brazil was high in trade, but later on till 2016 it is low. So in this graph we have learned about the contribution of trade in GDP. Trade makes up about 25% of GDP. From this we can learn that the contribution of trade in GDP. Now the two countries, Brazil and India. There is export also, there is import also. And some of the countries, they are the trading partners of these two countries. Some of the countries, they are the trading partners of these two countries. So in Brazil, we can see export. Brazil export iron ore, coffee, cocoa, cotton, sugar, tobacco, oranges, banana. And import machinery, chemical products, fertilizer, wheat, heavy vehicle, mineral oil and lubricant. And the trading partners are Germany, USA, Canada, Italy, Argentina, Saudi Arabia and India. In India, we can see there is export of tea, mangoes, coffees, spices, leather, goods, iron ore, cotton, silk, and textile. And there is import of petroleum, machines, pearls, precious stone, gold, and silver, paper, medicine, etc. And trading partners are UK, USA, Germany, Japan, China, Russia, etc. So from this chart, we learn that Brazil export iron ore, coffee, cocoa, cotton, sugar, tobacco, oranges, and bananas, and imports machineries, chemical product, fertilizer, wheat, heavy vehicles, mineral oil, lubricant. And the trading partner of Brazil is Germany, USA, Canada, Italy, Argentina, Saudi Arabia, and India. And India also in this chart given, India export tea, mangoes, coffee, spices, leather goods, iron ore, cotton, silk, textile. And import petroleum, machine, pearls, precious stone, gold and silver, paper, medicine. And the trading partners are UK, USA, Germany, Japan, China, Russia. So these are the trading countries which are the trading partners of Brazil and India. So in these both the trading partners, we can see Germany common in Brazil and India. USA is also common in Brazil and India. Germany and USA is common in both these countries. These are the trading partners common in both the countries in Brazil and India. The raw material which they have more in production, they export it, and the goods which they need for the development of the industries or the need they have, they import from the other countries. So this chart gives us the clear idea of the export and import of the trading partners and the trading partners of both the countries. So today we have learned about the various logos of the industries used in India, industries in India, export, import and balance trade of Brazil and India, graph of the Brazil and India showing the contribution of trade in GDP and the export, import trading partners of Brazil and India. So today we will stop here.